Just wait for a couple of days more so that we can able to give the books. Let me check tomorrow whatever books are available at present from the first semester, that we will details in the website. I'm sorry, in the WhatsApp.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right.
Sir, one minute. I have just downloaded an remaining book on the website. That will be fine.
It is okay, because see, the study materials are available in the in our website, and
Yes,
we will also send all the soft copy of study material once again in the WhatsApp group.
sure, sir.
I will instruct to send it once again so that you can have the study material in your mobile phone.
Okay, thank you.
And
Sir.
apart from that, you get all the study materials, hard copy of study materials.
Thank you,
Right?
sir. Thank
Now,
you.
one more thing, if anyone wants to submit the CLC and migration, they can submit it, because those who want CLC and migration after completion of the course, they can only get if they have submitted at the beginning. So if anyone wants to submit the CLC migration, then please submit it.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. It is not mandatory, but for the students, those who want to get the CLC and migration after completion of the course from this directorate, then one needs to submit it during the first semester only.
Sure, sir.
सर कौन सबमिट करबा पड़िबा सर?
कौन कहले आगे?
अरे माइग्रेशन पाई कौन सबमिट करबा पड़िबो?
CLC migration, जदि माइग्रेशन आपण करूचंती अदर देन उत्कल हेतिले माइग्रेशन रिक्वायर्ड. CLC टा तो सब समस्तकर दरकार, बट आमे एठी CLC को मैंडेटरी करिनु. बट आपण जदि CLC दरकार करूथिबे आफ्टर कंप्लीशन ऑफ द कोर्स एठो कंटिन्यूटी पाई कोर्स रो, ताले आपण हमठु CLC नहीं परिबे ओनली व्हेन आपण जतबे सबमिट करथिबे CLC टी बिगिनिंग पे.
To whom we need to submit, sir?
You need to submit in the DDC office in the management department.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, CLC तो ना migration टा जे सेतरे को असुविधा है?
CLC अलगा, migration अलगा. Migration is generally issued by the university. CLC is usually issued by the institute from where you have passed the course, last attending course.
सर जेतेबेले ऑनलाइन अप्लाई करथिलु सेतेबेले CLC टा मु अपलोड कर देइतिली, तो ऑफिस टा उतरे सबमिट करे
It was soft copy which you have uploaded,
sir,
but we need hard copy of that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
सर CLC जो माइग्रेशन सर्टिफिकेट सबमिट न कले हमर सर्टिफिकेट मिलिबारे तो किछ असुविधा होबनी?
किछि असुविधा नहीं.
ओके, थैंक यू सर.
सर कोन कहले टिके हम सुनि पारलिनी आउथरे रिपीट करबे?
किछि दरकार नहीं, हमें सेटा को आउथरे ग्रुप रे मु शेयर कर देबी. से डिटेल इंस्ट्रक्शन टा आई विल शेयर इट इन द ग्रुप. We'll start from our subject what we have discussed in the last class. In fact, I covered most of the thing in the offline mode, but I assure you that the portion which I have covered in the offline mode, okay, so what I will do, I will complete those portions also in online mode after completion of this session. Session in the sense entire PCP will over on 6th or 7th. After that, I will continue my class in online mode, and I will try to cover the portions which I have covered in offline mode. So I will start fresh from unit 2, what I have covered in unit 2, that from there I will start.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I will start from unit.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Okay, I will start from unit 2. Please write down the questions from unit 2. Then please mute all of your mute so that it will not create any kind of disturbances. So if it is required, then unmute yourself and ask the questions, and then instant you mute yourself. Now from unit 2, the questions what I want to discuss right now is that define planning. I hope have I discussed the questions of unit 2 in online mode?
Yes sir. Yes sir. Sir, offline and online we said you were discussed.
अच्छा ताले मु आज स्टार्ट करबी यूनिट 2 रो मु प्लानिंग भरिका ऑनलाइन रे डिस्कशन करि छि कि?
Yes sir.
सर आपण को क्वेश्चन डिस्कशन करथले हमर किछ आंसर डिस्कशन नै नथला. sir, how to make your plan more effective? Sir discussion करथिले. Effective
Online
planning.
Planning and
आज्ञा
decision
आज्ञा.
making.
Online ने हितला sir.
Planning and decision making.
Okay. Now see, today we'll discuss the types of planning. We have already defined what planning is. Planning, the meaning of planning that we have discussed. In fact, planning is a process. It is a continuous process which is to be applied at the beginning of every task. Whatever work you do, whatever task we do, in fact, before that, we should go for planning. Certain cases, what happen, we plan it, the process applied spontaneously because we are habituated with the process. We know the system. We are well acquainted with the outcome of these steps. So in that case, we go with planning instantly. Without planning also, we apply because we know the process. But in many cases, planning is done with a pen and paper, or it is done in the mind of the planner only to simplify the work, only to minimize the risk and uncertainties. So for that reason only, if you are going for proper planning, then what will happen? That will reduce the uncertainties and you can achieve the target in a better way, or we can achieve more in regard to the planning effect. Then the different outcome of planning are there, the different effectiveness of planning are there. But the planning, what a planner does, are of different types. Today we will discuss the types of planning. Basically, a planner does different type of planning or applies different type of planning in the planning process. So the types of planning can be discussed in different way. In different way, we can discuss the types of planning. Okay, in one way, you may get this question as a 5-mark question or as a 8-mark question or as a question of 12 marks where it comes as a part question. Okay, so you may get like a question, discuss the process of planning and also identify the different types of planning generally adopted by a planner in the process. So it may come in a part question from the long type question. So from types of planning, we can identify it from different way. One way of discussing the type is from level point of view. From level. Okay. Another way of identifying the types is that we can discuss it from time prospects. From time prospects, we can also identify the types of planning. Another way of defining the planning is from relationship prospects. Relationships. And another way of defining planning, the types of planning, is from use prospects. Now, these are if you read the book, you will get many types of planning. But what I did, I have tried to identify the planning from different approaches, from different corner, from different segment. I have identified the planning. One way of discussing the type is level. Level is the hierarchy or the position. Now, from that approach, we can identify the planning are of 3 types. One is your top level planning, one is your medium level planning, one is your lower level planning. Now, from level point of view or from hierarchy or from the positions point of view, the planning can be identified in 3 different types. One is top level planning, one is medium level planning, and one is lower level planning. Now, you must be thinking these are very generic, these are very general terms. See, I understand these are very general and these are very common. But the thing, and you must be well acquainted with such types while going with planning process in your organization. I know that. Now you must be thinking that the subject is very easy. I know that the subject is easy also. But the point is that in the examination sheet, you need to answer the questions in a systematic manner. That's why I want to describe it in a graphical manner, in a tabular manner, so that you can remember and you can answer it. So whenever you are answering the questions in my paper, in fact, I am telling, whenever you are answering the questions, try to remember this diagram or this picture and try to elaborate if you are getting the question. Now, when you are elaborating, if you are unable to get the real meaning of that, try to think of your organization and how you are applying it. In that sense also you can define. It is not always required to define the concept, okay, from books or from materials. It is not required to quote any definition from the book. Now you can define the concept of your own. Okay, so in that case also the examiner will certainly consider the answers. Now from level point of view, the planning are of 3 types. We can say one is top level planning. If the person who is in the top he basically goes for certain kind of planning. The person who is in the middle, he also goes for certain kind of planning. The person who is in the lower level, he also goes for certain kind of planning. Now, in that case, what kind of planning generally done by the top level executive, we need to narrate it. Are you getting my point? What kind of planning generally adopted by the top level executives, you need to narrate it here. Basically, आमे कहि परिबा कि one is your strategic plan, one is your action plan. Now, the more you will go up, we have already defined it in the offline class. The more you will go up, you will find strategic planning, and the more you will go down, you will find action planning. Now, basically, the top level executives are adopting strategic planning, then medium level executives, then lower level executives. Now, you need to point it out the meaning of top level, or what are the points which are included in top level that you need to elaborate. Likewise, from time prospects, planning are of 3 types. Okay, so once I am identifying the time or I am writing it, writing the approach of planning, types of planning from time prospects, then you can write it. One is your long-term plan, one is your medium-term plan, and one is your short-term plan. Now, long-term planning, medium-term planning, and your short-term planning. Now, long-term planning, basically from finance prospects, we can say finance aspects, the planning which are 5 or more than 5 years. This is all about your long-term plan. Again, we can say the most of the top-level executives basically prefer long-term planning. But it is not actually correct in all the cases. The lower-level executives also goes for long-term planning. Now, the medium-term planning, it is 1 to 5 years. Usually that happens from finance prospects. So medium-term planning and short-term planning is less than 1 year. So certain planning for an organization, suppose for my directorate, I plan for certain project which will start after 5 years. For that, I am preparing myself. That is all about your long-term planning, and certain planning which we do for certain activities which will happen between 1 to 5 years. And certain planning, suppose we have already started planning to start the examination. Okay, we have already started planning on that, and we have already taken decision on that, and we are working on this. Now, this is your short-term planning. Now, what will happen after 5 years? It is very difficult to predict, but still we plan for that. This is all about your strategic planning. Again, we can say. Now, from level point of view, the planning are of 3 types. Just remember it. Then you can elaborate it of your own top level, middle level, and lower level. Then from time prospects, planning are of 3 types. Once again, we can say the long-term planning, medium-term planning, and your short-term planning. Then from relationship point of view, planning can be described in 2 ways. One planning type is your formal plan. Another planning is your informal plan. Now, formal plan and informal plan. Certain concepts are formalized, certain concepts are informalized. Now, formal and informal, that you know better. Now, when a planning is to be identified as formal, you need to write it down. When a planning is to be identified as informal, then also you need to identify. Now, formal, we can say when it is well circulated, co-planning ta ko hame formal kahiba. Certain planning are well circulated, well discussed, well accepted, well before time of starting of the work, right? So everybody knows this is what is to be planned. So that is all about your formal plan. Now, certain, again we can say certain planning are as per the rules we planned and we have implemented it. Now that is all about your formal plan. When it is well known by all the people, all the person upon whom we are applying the planning concept, then it is all about your formal plan. Now, what do you mean by informal? It is in my mind. I am not disclosing. Now, your formal planning was that, just for example, your formal planning was that the 7 to 8 class is to be taken by someone else, but the informal way I came and I have started taking the class. Now, this is informal planning are more sudden, more instant, or else people react to that. But somehow you need to apply it in certain manner so that the resistance or the hurdles or the opposition will come down. It depends on the planner how to implement the informal planning. Now another is that when the planning is in my mind, I am not disclosing, that is also identified as informal plan. I mean, same concept, formal plan and informal plan can also be applied or can also be discussed as formal group and informal group, formal communication and informal communication. Unit 3, you will write or else you may get a question from Unit 3. What is formal group and how it is different from informal group? And in OB Unit 5, you may get a question under the chapter of communication, types of communication, what is formal communication and what is informal communication. Now, in that way also here, we can identify the types of planning from relationship point of view. The planning are of two types. One is your formal plan, another one is your informal plan. Then the most important is your as per use. Vyavahara, ko prakar we are using the planning as per use. Planning are of two types. Planning are of two types. One type of planning, considering the use point of view, planning is single use and planning is standing plan. Single use plan and standing plan. Single use plan and standing plan. Now, can you tell me what is the difference between single use and how to describe single use planning? Can anyone tell me, or else all of you are muted? Okay, you can write. You can write.
Hello, sir. Single use plan is single use plan is some plan which is used for one time and we cannot
for one time, not repeated. Okay, okay. Standing plan, it will stand. Now in that way we are defining. Suppose mo pakhre dekho, I have one pen in my hand. Mo pakhre gote column achi. This is the pen which I carry. Now after kono chune ye gote pen achi, ethi au gote pen padichi. See, another pen is there in my hand. Just look at this pen and just look at this pen. Now tell me the characteristics of this pen and the characteristics of this pen. Now if I start writing the characteristics of this pen, then I can tell it is a single use plan, single use pen. That means use it and throw it. And this is the characteristics of this pen, use it and reuse it. Are you getting a point? Now this pen will continue with me for a longer days, right? In that way, single use plan and standing plan can be described. Certain planning will continue, will be used. Once it is used, then it is over. But certain planning will continue with you for continuous period. Now that will stand with you. Now what are the single use plan are there? Now the single use plan includes. The single use plan includes, the example of single use plan is your program, project, budget. These all about your single use plan. I do not have time to, or the scope is not there to ask you, so that straight away I am writing. The single use plan includes program, project and budget. These are all about your single use plan. Now, certain planning are there in the organization which will continue with you. Now, what are the examples of standing plan? We can say rules and regulations, policies, process. These all your standing plan. This will stand with you for longer days, right? Now the program, project, budget, these are your standing plan and single use plan, and the rules, regulations, policies, process, these all your standing plan. For example, we are conducting this personal contact program. This PCP is your single use plan. That means this plan, we plan for this PCP, and once it is over, we'll close it. That means in the next year, we will apply a different kind of planning. We will go for a different kind of planning. That means the students are different. The teacher may be taking different kind of paper. The classes may be conducted in different way. This is all about your single use plan. But these rules, regulations, the policies or the mode of progress will stand. That means the rules, regulation by amar jo rahichi regulation ba amar jo course structure that will stand, that will continue. A barsa jaha pila padichanti asanta barsa the students will read similar thing, but different students will be there. In that case the planning can also be done, can be identified from use prospect are of two types. One is your single use plan, another is your standing plan. Now this is what is the types of planning, and you can answer the questions if you are getting of jodi tomara gote 5 mark ro question poduchi taku structure karo diti line at least write 2 to 3 lines. Then today I will discuss now the process of planning. I will discuss it the process while discussing the process of decision making. जेतोले मो प्रोसेस ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग डिस्कशन करिवि, गोटे साइड रे प्रोसेस ऑफ प्लानिंग डिस्कशन करिवि, अदर साइड रे प्रोसेस ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग डिस्कशन करिवि. नाउ व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय डिसीजन मेकिंग? व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग? डिसीजन मेकिंग
सर टाइम पर सर सेडा कोन थला?
टाइम पर थिला रिलेशनशिप. हां, the planning are of two types. One is your formal plan, one is your informal plan. Formalized means it is officially established, it is well accepted, so everybody knows the process of planning which is going to be applied by the planner. It is known to all, so that is all about your formal plan. Informal plan, the planner never disclose it. Okay, so it is there in the mind. Okay, so it is not also established, or it is not also, we can say, approved. It is all about your informal plan. Now we in the organization we go with both. Hello. We go with as well as formal and informal. Now, what do you mean by decision making? Yeah.
Sir, sir, formal और informal रो दुटा practical example दे परिबे sir.
The formal plan already have given. Formal planning रे हमर थिला कि आजि कार class आउ जने नेबे, but suddenly we changed it and I am in the class. It is informal. Right? So in that way, in organization also we go with both the planning. I am not telling informal planning is bad or formal planning is good. Organization always applies the types of planning as per its availability, as per its use, as per the circumstances, as per the need, requirement, and as per the environmental influences. So you plan to visit a particular site that was approved, but you went somewhere else. Your name was there to visit or to inspect to a place, but you changed and you went to some other place. That is your informal plan. It is in your mind. You have, well, suppose tamu kon kora hoichhe na gote inspector, you are an inspector and you need to visit a particular site. It was approved and it was well planned and it was well circulated. But what happened? Suddenly you changed and you went to a different place to inspect a different situation. That is what is your informal plan. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Now, what is decision making? See, as I have already defined planning, and I also somehow differentiated the term with decision making in the first class. Now, planning is all about your deciding in advance. In fact, planning bridges the gap where you are and where you want to go. Now, it bridges the gap. That means proper planning bridges the gap, but still planning is only effective when proper decisions or timely decisions are taken on it. Right? Your planning can only become effective or can become result oriented when the timely decisions, when the decisions are taken on time. Right? Now, then what is decision making? Decision making is implementation of such planning. What is decision making? It is implementation of such planning into action is your decision making. Now you need to take proper care and proper action on it so that you can get the outcome of planning what you have like presumed. Now, what is decision making? Before defining, I always think, I may be wrong, but I always think in a different way while answering the questions. Now, answering questions or writing the answer in the examination sheet is an art. It is a kola. Now, you need to answer in such a way so that it will satisfy the requirement of the examiner. Right? Now, it is very difficult to satisfy the requirement of the examiner. So, that's why it is an art. Now, another is that whenever you are getting a question to define certain concept, I always advise to remember the nature or characteristics of that. Mu class re padhela bale madhya I also told the same thing to all of you, that try to identify the different nature or characteristics. The point is that when you are able to write down the nature or characteristics, then it is quite easy to write the definition. Now, when you are able to write down the definition, or you are able to remember the definition, then it is quite easy to write down the nature or characteristics or feature of the concept. So, ମୁଁ ଏଠି କ'ଣ କରିବି ନା କିଛିଟା nature, characteristics or feature of decision making I will write. Now, when you are able to point it out the nature characteristics, now each point, just remember the term, each point will give one definition. Now, the first question is that at what point of time we usually take decision? को जगह हमें decision knows. Any answer? Can anyone tell me at what point of time we take decision?
When you face from problem in the process of some planning.
Okay. Now you mute yourself. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Sir.
Yes, sir. This is Subrat Kumar, sir. Good evening. Where we sure about that work, then you can take the decision after that.
Okay. Any other point?
Sir, any different action?
Any other point? Now see.
Sir.
See.
ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମ ପାଖରେ ବହୁତ ସାରା ଅପସନ ଥାଏ ଆମେ ସେତେବେଳେ ଡିସିଜନ ନଉ
देखो ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ପେନ୍ ଦେଖେଇଲିଣି ତମେ आंसर ଦଉଛ. Now how many pens are there in my hand? Marker pen. କେତେ ଅଛି? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8ଟା marker ମୁଁ ଧରିଛି. Now when that means while using the whiteboard, what I did when I came to the class, I just marked like this. So I marked like this. Getting point. Now out of which I have only identified 2. A 8 I only kept 2 to use in the class. That means at that point of time I have taken the decision out of those options, which 2 options or which are the options are there which will give me the best result. So I examined, I analyzed, I identified the outcome, then I experimented, then I identified these 2 options will give me the best result. And out of this, these are the options, I may not tell 2, these are the options are giving maximum outcome and I am taking decision. Now suppose in this table only 1 pen is available, then at that point of time, am I taking any decision? No. That means when a decision maker takes decision, when multiple options are there. Now it is an art. Suppose you do not have any options, multiple options, then what is to be done? You need to create options. You need to create opportunities so that you can take the best decision. Now the first characteristics of decision is that multiple options, 2 or more alternatives, must be there. This is what is the first characteristic. Dui but adurda alternative thiba. Now it is an art to create options. Now it depends how to create options. Now it depends all about your intellectual capability. Now decision making, when I selected these two I have selected, then what I did, in one side I selected, in other side what I did, I rejected. So decision making is a process of selection and rejection. This is what is the next characteristics. What is the first? First is that 2 or more alternatives must be there. Then next is that it is a selection and rejection based process. Then next is that suppose you are going to a doctor. Now you have done many experiments, many examinations you have done, and the doctor is not looking at any kind of test reports, simply looking at you, the doctor prescribes the medicines. Now how the doctor is able to understand your disease without going through this report? It is all about the intellectual capability. Now another characteristics is that decisions are always based on the intellectual capability of the decision maker. Right? Now it is all depends on the intellectual capability. how accurately, how correctly, how pinpointed decisions you are able to take. It is all about your intellectual capability, involvement, experience, expertise, knowledge, and many more things. So you have already experienced, you have already encountered with these situations, so that you are able to take decisions. Now, how the intellectual capability is generated or created? You need to do different kind of exercises for that. You need to experience the thing. Now, I always tell that if so at what point of time we learn, there is a chapter in OB, learning is there. You must be read that chapter, learning. Now, learning the concept is that you should have experienced. Now, another is that how you will experience, you need to make mistakes, right? Now, you point do you agree to that or not? Please chat box. The statement is that if you have made mistake, then you have learned it. Is it true or false?
True, sir.
Is it true or false?
True, sir.
True, sir.
Huh?
True, sir.
True. True. But I will tell it is wrong. It is false. Why? Because you made the mistake. Then with that mistake, making by that mistake, you will never learn unless and until if you are not realizing it.
Yes.
Right? You need to realize what mistake you have done. This is what is the concept. Now the next statement is that if you have made mistake and if you have realized, then you have learned. Is it true or false?
Maybe true, maybe false.
Sir.
ମୁଁ କହିଥିଲି ବୋଲି ତାପରେ ତମେ କହିଲ ନହେଲେ କହିଥାନ୍ତ ଏଇଟା ଯଦି ଆଗ କହିଥାନ୍ତ ତାହେଲେ ତମେ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ରୂପେ କହିଥାନ୍ତ ସାର୍ ଏଟା true ବୋଲି. Now so you need to realize, then after realizing what you need to accept your mistake. Now at what point of time one will learn? When you will make mistake, you will realize and you need to accept the mistake. Now unless and until if you are not accepting the mistake, you will never learn. Now is it true or false?
Maybe true, maybe false.
Is it true or false?
After acceptance,
We have to take some corrective actions.
After accepted, it's a true.
We need to rectify it, sir.
Now you have accepted your mistake. That means you will not learn unless and until if you are not taking correct steps.
Corrective actions. Yes, sir.
Corrective steps you need to take. Then only you will learn. Now learning is permanent change of behavior. Now, learning is permanent change of behavior. Learning influences the individual's behavior. Now, what are the factors? You may get a question. What are the factors which influence the individual's behavior? कौन factor mo behavior रे affect करूची? You may get a question. आमे कहि परिबा कि environment, आमे कहि परिबा कि your organizational factor, आमे कहि परिबा कि personal factor, आमे कहि परिबा कि psychological. These are four broad parameters which influence the individual's behavior. With that, we learn. Now, your intellectual capability will develop when your behavior will be changed. Matlab a simple question out of the topic I am asking because it is there in your OB. What are the parameters which influence the behavior? Can anyone answer me? You can, if you remember this, then you can answer the introduction question of the behavior. What are the factors which influence the individual's behavior? Yes? You can write in the chat box. What are the factors which influence? Yes.
Social factors.
Yes, ma. Tell me once again.
Social factors.
Social factor.
Environmental.
Social, technological, economical, political, institutional, and natural. Step in. Okay. Now, what are the factors which influence the individuals? One is your belief. Belief, Vishwas, dikha jauchi na nahi? Vishwas our behavior influence karuchi. Belief. Now you have a strong belief system that influence the individual's behavior. Right? Now you need to elaborate it or you need to justify how belief system influence your behavior. Another is your ethics. The ethical parameters also influence your behavior. We know what ethics is. We have already defined it in the offline class. Now, ethical parameters are, you have a paper, business ethics. Now, the ethical issues influence your behavior. Next is the habit of bhyasa. तम बिहेवियर निश्चित रूपे इन्फ्लुएंस करिवो अभ्यासगत मिछुआ थांती अभ्यासगत गालुआ थांती अभ्यासगत पिला थांती जो माने हां तांकर अभ्यास लेट कमर or late starter. This is what is their habit. That will certainly influence the behavior. Next is your attitude. Attitude we have already must have defined. Now, what are the parameters which influence the individual's behavior? One is belief, ethics, habit, attitude. Next is your value system. The value system of the individual, that will also influence the behavior. Next is integrity. Next is your observation. Next is your understanding. And finally, another is your role. What kind of role you are playing. Now, what are the parameters which influence the intellectual capability of the individual? How you will develop your intellectual capability? These are the parameters, the belief. You need to expand it. You need to strengthen it. Okay, the ethics, it will affect your behavior. The habit pattern, you need to change it so that you can become an intellectual person. Next is your attitude. I'm not talking about personality. I'm only identifying the attitude. Attitude is the key parameter of the individual. Okay, you know what you are. That is all about your attitude. But I know what you are. It is all about the personality. Now, next is your value system. You need to develop that. Next is your integrity, observation, how you are observing it. That also influences the individual's behavior. Your experience, expertise with that you are observing. Next, your level of understanding. So I'm telling the same thing to all, but some of you are understanding, some of you are not getting. Why you are not getting? Why someone is able to understand? Because the level of understanding, it relates to your education system, it relates to your upbringing, it relates to the environment which you belongs to. Environment, sir, कहबे sir बुझुतली जे कि जे जो sound रे टिके up down होला से पे सुनी परली. That may be a reason. Now another is that the role, what kind of role you are playing. Now I'm playing the role of a teacher. Next moment I will play a different type of role, and another moment I will play a different type of role. Accordingly, I need to act. It is not that I will play the same type of role in all conditions, in all situations. Now, what are the behavioral parameters which develops the intellectual capability of the individual? What are the parameters? Or what are, you may get a question, what are the factors which influence the behavior? कौन factor गोटे behavior को influence करছে गोटे individual? Now, what I have written?
Yes, sir. Behavior. BEHAVIOU.
Now, these are the basic parameters which influence the behavior. It is all about your belief system, your ethical aspects, your habit, your attitude, your value system, your integrity, how you are observing, how you are understanding, and how you are playing the role. That is all about your composite form of behavior. Now, you need to develop that. With that only you can take the decisions. It is all about your intellectual capability. Now, decisions are information based. Another information based. Now, the more accurate decision, more informations, more accurate decisions. That means heavy information, heavy decision nahi paribani. As per requirement, the information systems are required. Information systems are basically, we basically go with the information. Now, decisions are fact based. Decisions are report based. Decisions are information based. That is also another characteristic. Then next is decisions are situational. Situational. So that means why it is situational? I am taking the same decision in different situations.
So what is that after intellectual capability?
Yes, pardon, 1 second, tell me.
So what is the next point after intellectual capability? I missed.
Okay, so this is your information based, fact based, report based. Okay. Now, how correct informations you are getting, accordingly you are taking the decisions. Right? Suppose you have planned to go to Delhi. Now, what is the information? You need to collect the information about the pollution, about the COVID guideline. With that information only, you can take the decision. Now, if you are unable to get proper information, whatever you plan will fail because you have taken wrong decisions. Now, what is that? It is all about your information based. It is all about your fact based. It is all about your report based, so that you can justify your decisions. The next is decisions are situational. Now, what do you mean by situational? Why it is situational? It is situational because as per the situation, you need to take the decisions. So you can take different type of decisions in one situation or different decisions in different situations. So decisions are always situational based. Next is decisions are either negative or positive. Either negative or positive. See, now some people have requested, so 2 or 3 I got mail and SMS. I'm sorry I could not reply those mails and reply, but it is in my mind. Whatever mail or whatever SMS I get, I usually try to reply it, but 2 or 3 SMS or mail I haven't replied. See, I got two informations from your side. Someone has like requested, sir, please you conduct the classes in an alternate day. Another student have also requested, sir, please start the class from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now, suppose we are going with that decision, then it may positive for those students and it may negative for some other students. Right? Now, see, whenever we take decision, whenever we select, we reject. So we reject. Now in that case, what will happen when we are rejecting? Then it is negative. When we are selecting, it is positive. So somehow we have analyzed all the corner. From all the corner we have analyzed and we fixed up the dates. We fixed up the time. And earlier we were conducting the classes from 6 p.m. Please manage, please try to attend the classes. So though I know you must be facing some problem, issues must be there, but still try to attend the class and you will be getting the recorded class after completion of the PCP. So you can refer those. Now, these are the different characteristics. Another is that decisions are the end result. End result means at the end we take the decision. If you go to a judge, then listening all information, getting all the information, listening to both the parties, at the end the judge says order, order, order. This is what is the decision which I am taking. So that is all about decisions are end result. But see, the whatever decisions were taken by the judge, it is being changed in the higher court. That means decisions are flexible. So one is that it is end result, but decisions are flexible. Right? Now decisions are economic as well as non-economic. Decisions are economic as well as non-economic. Now economic, it is always implied as it relates to finance, and non-economic, it relates to non-finance, where finance is not involved. Now whatever decisions we take, usually either identified as economic decisions or non-economic decisions. Now, when money is involved to that, then it is all about your economic. When money is not involved, it is all about your non-economic. Now, mostly we can say non-economic decisions are taken to motivate the people. Okay, to motivate the people. We take non-economic decisions to motivate the people. Now, these are the different characteristics. Now, mokte tome kahina mu emti lekhi chaltibi characteristics. Now, combining these characteristics, you can write
study matter,
can you explain point
study
number 1?
material re gote thila je rational, it should not be rational.
Rational decision, see, this is, you can write here also, information based, where I have written information based. Now decisions are rational when it is like accepted. At what point of time rational decisions are taken? Rationality of decision making process, we identify. It is systematic, it is resource based, it is information based. See, rational decisions are taken at different conditions. 3 conditions are there. 3 conditions have a decision. No, one is your decisions under the condition of risk, decision under the condition of uncertainty, and decisions under the condition of certainty. The rational decision making process is applied under these 3 conditions. One is decisions are taken under the condition of risk, decisions are taken under the condition of uncertainty, and decisions are taken under the condition of certainty. Now at what point of time the decision what you are taking is certain? Can you tell me it is guaranteed? And if you are taking decision, then it will certainly you will achieve it. Can anyone tell me? Yes.
We enrolled in this course, so we are certain to complete.
It is a wrong conception. It is very difficult. You need to appear the examination. Now examination has a big question mark, right? You need to pass the paper. So it is not certain. Chances are there. Chances are there. Risk is there. Now if you will read, then you will clear. So a clause is there. You need to read, you need to prepare. Only by taking admission, you will not get the certificate. Bujhilo na nahi babu? You need to read for that. You need to answer. Now you have read. You have like prepared for the examination. Then what the next? You need to appear the examination. Now you have appeared. Then you need to write down in the paper. Correct answer. Example deki. Then only you will get the mark and you will clear the paper. Khali possible entry, exit, it is not like that. Now at what point of time we can say decisions are certain, or at what point of time we can say decisions are risk? Risk is 50-50. 50-50 chance. Probabilistic result. When the probabilistic results are there, at that point of time we can say decisions are risk. Now for example, you have 1 lakh rupees. Now 3 conditions under which you will invest that money. Now when you invest that money on government bond or fixed deposit, that is your certainty. Jodi postal le rakhibe 8 varsh 3 mas pare seta double hoike asibo mane asibo. Chances, higher chance rahe. Right? Now that is what is all about certainty. Now risk, if you invest money in mutual fund, hey pare no market subject to market risk. Okay. And 80% above jiba by 80% tolu jiba, but you will get the return. That is your risk is there. Uncertainty. Now if you will invest that money in cheat fund, then it is uncertainty. Now in life we also take decision. Now you think whatever decisions you have taken in your personal life, under which condition you have taken. Now whether it is under the condition of risk, certainty and uncertainty. This is all about your rationality decision making process. Now I will ask the question as what are the decisions taken by a decision maker under different conditions? Question now write down the definition. I don't have time to ask you. Please write down the definition.
Sir, the one delegate two and alternative. Sir, decision making ro toloda sir.
2 or more alternatives. 2 ba tadurtha alternative thile only ame decision no.
Okay sir.
बुझी पारले ना नहीं? क्लास रे थिले आ बडा एग्जांपल देखंदी आपन. Okay. Now just write the definition of decision making. Write it. Decision making is a continuous process. A continuous process where a decision maker finds the best alternative, finds or identifies the best alternative by analyzing and examining.
सर आउ थरे फास्ट सेट कह दे सर.
अरे आउ कहिले सेमती सरीबनी समय मु काहे की डाकुची जानछो कि तमरो लेखिबा प्रैक्टिस टा हबो हला कि सेति पई डाकुची सो दैट यू विल एटलीस्ट
सर लास्ट थर रिपीट कर देन.
सुनो मते डाकिले मु आउ कोन कहिबी ना केना मु कडी खाता बई धरि केसी कहू. Now decision is a continuous process where a decision maker selects the best alternative by analyzing and examining all other possible alternatives. Please mute yourself. By analyzing and examining all other possible alternatives. Decisions.
So
all other possible alternatives. Decisions are based on the intellectual capability of the decision maker, because it is based on the experiences, expertise, experience, involvement, and knowledge about the facts and informations. Decisions, another definition, decisions are situational and taken at the end after verifying the facts, and can also be changed at any point of time. Now you can write, see your definition of your own, right? But a term lekha, decision comes from the Latin word. Decision comes from the Latin word which is implied as deciso. Now what do you mean by deciso? It is implied as cutting off, cut it out, which are not required, just reject it. See, in this table, I have just kept aside 5 or 6 marker. Only I kept 2 pen in my hand because others are giving others are giving not good result, whereas these 2 pens are giving me the best result. So what do you mean by decision? Decision comes from the Latin word which is implied as deciso, and the meaning of that is cut it out, which are not required, just reject. Now to reject, we need to analyze. To analyze, you should have the intellectual capability, you should have the involvement, you should have the expertise in that. Now it must continue. So decisions are continuous process. You have taken one decision you have taken the decision that this year I will join a master's degree program. Then you have taken the decision. Then which program you will join, you must have like follow-up decisions are there. Where you will take admission, follow-up decisions are there. Next, whether I will attend the class in online mode or offline mode, then another decisions are there. Whether I will today come and join the class or not, then another decision is there. Now decision is continuous. If you have taken one decision, now to give good result to that decision, multiple decisions are to be taken. Now decisions are also an analytical process because you need to analyze. Decision is a brainstorming process. Okay. Now the types of decision, you may get the question, what are the different types of decisions taken by the decision maker? Like planning, the types of decisions can also be identified. Planning bhali madhya types of decision madhya describe kari haba. What a long question asi pare adhere. Okay. Define decision making, discuss the different types of decision taken by a decision maker. One type can be identified from frequency point of view. Frequency is implied as what? Parimana, kete thara hochi, how frequently the decisions are taken in the organization. I am telling from organization point of view. How frequently the decisions are taken by the decision maker in the organization. From frequency point of view, certain decisions are your, like we can say, program decisions. Program rachi. Certain decisions are your non-program decisions. Certain decisions are program, certain decisions are non-program. This is from frequency point of view. Another is from importance point of view. Gurutva neki ame kahiba, decisions are of two types. One is major decision, one is minor decisions. Major decisions and another one is your minor decisions from importance point of view. Another is that from from okay. Okay, from number of members point of view, kete jana loko decision nouchan. From that way, we can say decisions are of two types. One is one is more than one. How many people are involved into it? So accordingly, decisions are of two types. One is one man decision, one is more than one. Now, if it is one, then again it is of two types. Jadi jane tale ako me dui prakar bhed rahuchi. One is your personal decision and another is your departmental decision. One is personal decision, another is your departmental decision. When more than one are involved, then the decisions are of two types. One is group, one is committee. From finance point of view, certain decisions are economic, certain are non-economic. Okay. यदि एतिकी तमे मन रखी दबो मन रखियो को पड़िबो काहे कि ना आंसर आ भीतर बेस्ट
the last one.
Now from frequency point of view, program non-program. Now when it is in your program, then there is no need to take any approval. Now suppose a personal contact program hala, it is there in the program, so no need of taking any approval from higher authority. Now all the we can say minor decisions are your program decisions and most of the major decisions are your non-program decisions. But from different angle we are identifying. Now most of the lower level executives generally go for the program decisions, most of the higher level executives goes for the non-program. Now investment, small investment, okay, these are your program decisions. Investment, we can say merger, acquisition, amalgamation, absorption, reconstruction, re-engineering, these are your non-program decisions. Frequently hueni. So this can also be identified as major decisions and minor decisions. Now suppose you want to spend money today on tea and coffee, snacks, but a pencil kinlo, rubber kinlo. So for that even we do not enter those expenditures in the main cash book. We prepare the petty cash book where we maintain those. Types of cash book, but a question as single column, double column, triple column, petty cash book. तीन प्रकार नहीं चारि प्रकार कैश बुक सिंगल कलम है पारे डबल कलम है पारे ट्रिपल कलम है पारे बा पेटी कैश बुक तो उधर छोटे एक्सपेंडिचर हमें करू फॉर दैट इट इज वी नेवर टेक एनी अप्रूवल फ्रॉम हायर अथॉरिटी दैट इज योर माइनर that is all about your minor decisions. Now major decision when huge investments are there required, that is major decisions. Now from number of members point of view, personal decisions and departmental decisions. Now personal decisions, it is all about your personal life. You have taken such decisions. It is all about your personal life. You have taken decisions, right? Now in that case, and the decisions what you have taken outside the factory gate, this is your personal decision. Now why we are discussing such decision here while discussing the types of organizational decision? Because the decision what you have taken in your personal life will certainly influence your organization decisions, whatever you are taking. आमे कहू ए आजी सार आछंती आजी हमर मो सार आस्ते खाली बिगड़ी चिड़चिड़ी गाली दोछन गोटे कोन गोटे झगड़ा करी आइछन बोली आमे डिस्कशन करू. That means the personal decision what he has taken is certainly influencing all the organizational decisions. So that's why we also identify, because it influences psychologically. Departmental decision, many cases I take decisions personally without any consultation with anyone, okay, and I implement it. That is all about your departmental, whereas one man decision. Okay, now from more than one, decisions can be taken from number of members point of view, group decision and committee decision. Now there is a confusion how these two are different. More than one members are involved, but how we form group, how we form committee. Now usually it is believed that when the members, just mind the words, when the members are from the same department, that is all about your group decision. Now, when we are forming a committee, in that committee we involve outsiders. We involve some specialized people.
मोबाइल पैसा देबी कर दे देनी लास्ट खरो कहले माने देई दी मास होला देई दी जो मुझे काल किस्त देले 29 तारीख 29 तारीख किस्त
केस से देखो ता गालू गुदीटा चटकणी को
Guru Prasad.
Okay, now when the 2 or more members are involved, okay, when 2 or more people are involved from the department or from the same organization, this is all about your group decisions. Now you want to form a committee because the decisions are major, because these decisions are non-program. In that case, you are including or introducing some new which are not belongs to the organization or else from different department you are inviting them. This forms a committee. So group decisions and committee decisions. Then from finance point of view, economic decisions and non-economic decisions. When the money is involved in your decision, it is all about your economic. When money is not involved, it is non-economic. Now, sir, apno gote paper re jo paper tike komi jauchi class, apno autiye padhei diyantu. Now I have decided I will take some extra classes. Now in that decision, it is all about your non-economic decision because money is not involved. Right? Are you getting my point? No, sir, apno jo paper ta onyo jo sir nona jo mane baharu asଛନ୍ତି outside DTC ताकू टिके कुहंतु से आउ दि चारटा क्लास एक्स्ट्रा नेबे. If I am taking that decision, then it is economic decision. Why? Because money is involved. We need to pay them more. बुझी पारिला? This is all about your economic and non-economic decision. I will discuss the process of decision in some next class.
Sir, group and community टिके again explain कर देबे.
Group रे suppose तमे कोडी सर्विस करछ. Are you working somewhere?
Yes, sir.
Where you are working?
When or where?
Where you are working in which organization?
Team lead.
Huh?
Team lead.
Okay. Suppose you are working in your जो company चाकरी करछ. Now gote group है तमे बसिला तम department from your same department you are taking a decision. Sitting together all the members you are taking decisions. Because the decision can be taken by consisting those members which belongs to the organization. Now, in certain case, you include some outsiders, specialized people, chartered accountants, architects, so that you can get some specialized knowledge. When you involve in that committee, and both are formal. See, both are formal. The group is formal, the committee is also formal. Group is firm, committee is firm. You are inviting some outsiders into that group and you are forming a committee. I mean, DTC academic committee rahichi or purchase committee rahichi because in that purchase committee, apart from the teachers of DTC, we have included the registrar, we have included the COF, we have included some people from the government also. Because, but this PCP personal contact program we organize by forming the faculty council or faculty group. We are taking decision where we are not including anyone from the outside. Right now we formed group as well as we formed committee. Now most of the major.
Sir, what is the third type, sir? Third type.
Committee. Okay. Yes.
Sir, minor or major
So what is the
Can you please repeat the frequency?
See, these are not different types of decisions. These are your different way in which we are discussing the types. If you are taking it from frequency point of view, then it is program decisions and it is non-program decisions. If you are taking the importance point of view, it is major decision, minor decision. तमे जदि याकु number of member को देखिबो ताले decision ए टाइप रो. तमे जदि कहबो कि नै मु फाइनेंस देखि कि डिफाइन करबी, then it decisions are either economic decisions or non-economic decisions. From different corner we are defining. Right?
So, sir,
now you are decision from importance point of view. Suppose for example, yeah, who asked major minor?
Sir, sir, Sanjeev Patnaik, sir.
Okay, now where you are working?
Sir, I am working in Central Tools Room, sir.
Okay, now many decisions which you have taken of your own because it is minor, but in many decisions you need to take the approval in file. That is your major decisions. Suppose for example, tamo ghare in your house, what is your age?
Sir, 30, sir.
30 जेतेबेले तुम 20 वर्ष 15 वर्ष हेतिला तुम बापा तुमको कोन करूथिले ना जा कहूथिले जाओ तुम एई जिंसटा किनी के आनो दुकान रू तुम पळोथिलो परिवा किनी के आनुथिलो तुम बापा तुम सुना किनिया को दउथिले कि
No, sir.
because that is your major decision. Now you need to, if you are going to purchase certain where huge amount is involved, you need to take approval from your father because it is a major decision and it is non-program. सबुदिन जाई सुना किनुथिलो कि
No, sir.
ना सबुदिन परिवा किनुथिलो, that is your program decision. जेतरे परिवा किनुथिलो बापा को पचारुथिलो कि नाही पचारुथिलो पचारिया दरकार नहीं तुम तोर किनी के आनुथिलो जदि बाय चांस तुमको 25 वर्ष बयस रे दिया गला से 4 जदि किनले बापा को पचारथिलो बा मां को पचारथिलो एवं सेही जिंस रे जिंस किनुथिलो सो इन दैट केस that is your program decision where non program decision where you need to take the approval from the higher authority, right? Decisions can be discussed, the types of decisions can be discussed from different corner, from different angle, but these are not different types. गोटे कॉर्नर रे मु एमती डिफाइन करूची आउ गोटे अप्रोच रे एमिति करूची आउ गोटे रे एमिति करूची आउ गोटे सेमति राइट
These are the examples, sir.
Yes,
These are the examples, sir.
These are the examples, but while writing the examinations, you do not give the example of purchasing of vegetables, which is given by decision taken by your father. Give some example from organization point of view, so that it will satisfy the requirement of the exam.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, we are supposed to differentiate between decision making and the planning on the basis of characteristics.
Pardon, once again, please repeat the question.
We are supposed to differentiate between decision making and planning on the basis of characteristics.
That can also be done if you are getting the question like that. How planning and decisions are different from each other, then you need to elaborate it. Planning leads to decision making. Planning is based on decision making. Decision making is based on planning. In that way, you can also define. But that is not, that type of question may not come. Relationship may come. Okay. Any other doubt?
Sir, more or doubt थिला.
Yes.
Sir, जेमति आपण कहले कि डिसीजन मेकिंग टा जो लैटिन वर्ड डिसिसो रु आछि डिसिसो हां सर बट बुक रे लिखा है कि डिसाइडर रु आछि बोली
हां सुनो डिफरेंट जगह रो तमे गोटे सेम कांसेप्ट स्टडी मटेरियल देखिथिबो सेम कांसेप्ट महाभारत रे लिखा है सेम कांसेप्ट गीता रे लिखा है सेम कांसेप्ट कुरान रे लिखा है डिफरेंट वे रे राइट सो डिफरेंट अप्रोचेस रे डिफरेंट जगह रे गुडे जिंस लिखा है मु तुमको पढैली जो जिंस कोटा कहलो हेनरी फेयल रो 14 प्रिंसिपल्स so it is written that in many books it is written to 1916 1918 but in many books it is written 1916 many book it is written that the book which was written by Henry Fayol is general administration of industry ताकू अन्य जगह रे अन्य कोन लिखाई सी बहुत जगह रे बहुत चेंजेस है कि आसी था but the original most of the concepts which we have identified from Latin concept from as suppose हमें कहूचे कि audit comes from the auditors cross check check in but auditors gote बहिरे तुम पाइबो auditors is taken from Latin word but आउ गोटे बहिरे लागे छै auditee French word auditee audit set was depend करूछ okay so you just go through the books so एठी तमे कोठी auditors पाइबो कोथरे auditee पाइबो Latin word रहला auditors French word रहला auditee same the deciso is the Latin word then अन्य कोठी आउ कोठी भी खाई पारे right
sir
thank you sir
hello
sir गोटे छोटा क्वेश्चन
sir enough sati notes बने पे sir
see I am only trying to give the picture of the answer you need to remember it मु भाबुची कि तमे जदी एई डायग्राम टा ड्रॉ करि देलो गोटे पेज रे ताले you can elaborate it major minor you know किछि जदी तमर ए जो ऊपर हेडिंग लाइन टा न मने पडुची जहा जहा जदी मने पडुची ताकु लिखि मेजर लिखो माइनर लिखो मिसाई दियो बट राइट आंसर करो एमति नै कि मु कोन घरे खाइ के आस्ते ताकु आंसर करिवो राइट द आंसर as per the requirement तुमको पढिला मु सेदिन क्लास रे पचारिली LPG okay LPG so what is the full form of LPG someone told that liquid profile gas but now if you will define it then you will get कौन पाइबो कहथिली क्लास रे सुनो
liquefied petroleum gas sir liquefied petroleum gas.
You will write that. One can tell in that way also, but here in business point of view, it is all about liberalizing, privatizing, and globalizing. The concept says what is liberalization, what is privatization, and what is globalization. But if you will write the full form of LPG and you will start defining it, then you will get zero, right? So this is what you need to answer the questions with proper examples. So I have already stated that answering question is an art. Now how you are developing it depends on you.
Sir, behavior art conti kahibe ki sir? Behavior art.
Behavior role. What kind of role you are playing? Now see, I am playing the role of a teacher. I behave like this. But in the examination hall, I will play a different type of role. I will never interact with you people. So that is what is different. In your office, you behave different. In your home, you behave different. With your friend, you behave different. Now, if you will behave the same way with all in all conditions, then what will happen? People will kick you on your back, right?
सर हमको assignment जो
you need to change your role as per situation and circumstances. Okay, tell me.
सर assignment रो जो question दिया हबो तो तारो पेपर सामे निजे A4 साइज रे रेडी करिवो या फिर आपण
वर्तमान एते ता पे पैनिक हो नहीं. The detailed instructions will give in the notice how to prepare the assignment. Everything will be given to you. Kemiti assignment karibo, kemiti submit karibo, all the instructions will be given with the questions. Okay, so now you prepare for the examination, download the last year questions, right, and prepare accordingly.
Sir, actually आउ गोटे सर इशू दिला सर कि सर जो हमारो जो एग्जाम पे जो नोटिस में भी आसीबो सर जो माने 8टा पेपर रहबो सर कम से कम जो सर कहजन कि 2 दिन गैप माने संडे में भी आसी गला कि किछि हॉलिडे आसी गला तो कम से कम 10 रु 12 दिन सर प्रोवाइड
ओनली संडे आउ किछि हॉलिडे देखिबुनी हमें जनवरी 26 ले छुट्टी पाइबो
8 रु सर जो
जनवरी 26 ले छुट्टी रहइबो अगस्त 15 ले छुट्टी रहइबो अक्टोबर 2 ले छुट्टी रहइबो ता बाहर आउ किछि छुट्टी नहीं
सर सी सर 8-10 दिन सर छुट्टी न पे सर टिके इशू भी हो सर कहजन एते दिन अलाउ
व्हाट यू आर सजेस्टिंग
सर ऑनलाइन एग्जामिनेशन पे सर किछि
यस सर ऑनलाइन सिस्टम नहीं भूल धारणा रे पसी आसिलो बापा भूल बाटरे चली आसिलो. You are continuing a regular program where offline examination will be conducted. जेमिति तमे ग्रेजुएशन पास परीक्षा देइतला सेम दी परीक्षा है, राइट?
जदी गोटे एग्जाम गोटे पेपर आ गोटे पेपर भीतर गैप रहियो भी तो टिके सेटा भी एडजस्टेबल हे परिबो.
आपण कोठु आछुचंती सर? Paradip ru. You can come. Many people have taken admission from outside Odisha. How they will take the leave for 15 days? Can they back to their place after appearing the examination? See, आमे आदरे बहुत रिसर्च करिछु. आजि नुए ए जो परीक्षा दीर्घ 22 वर्ष हलानी आमे करूछु. बुझि पारले ना नहीं? मु एमिति 22 टा बैच देखि सारलिनी. सर सुनंतु. I have seen 22 batches. 2K रो 22. मु एमती 22 टा बैच को एटु पिलां को पास करी कि छाडी लेनी पिलां को परीक्षा देखि सारलेनी एवं पर्सनल इन्वॉल्वमेंट रे हैव कंडक्टेड द एग्जामिनेशन. 22 बैच मोर स्टूडेंट 2K रे अछंती से पिला भी एबे भी मोर से टच रे अछंती. 2K रो 22 या पर मैं बहुत रिसर्च कर दै छु. आउ एक्सपेरिमेंट करले हबो नाही बिकॉज़ जो शेड्यूल हमें करिछु we have done it after considering all the parameters. सब को देखि कि करिछु. Okay, now it is justified. आउ आदरे चेंज करले बहुत लोक हैरान हेबे. So it cannot be changed and PG examination में केबे गैप रहे नाही. It always conducted regular manner. Okay, and you have gap 18 घंटा रो गैप अछि आपन पाखरे.
सर
and what
और अछि कि सर एग्जाम केबे और अछि कि
एग्जाम फेब्रुआरी 15 बेलकु 15 पर 28 भीतर 15 पर.
गुड इवनिंग सर.
मोर एक क्वेश्चन दिला सर हमर जो स्ट्रेटजिक और टैक्टिकल डिसीजन स्टडी मटेरियल दै छी सेटा आपनकर स्ट्रेटजिक डिसीजन एंड टैक्टिकल डिसीजन स्टडी मटेरियल अछि सेटा आपनकर ए डायग्राम रे कोटे फिट हो
The strategic is long term, tactical is we can say where techniques are adopted, but again we can say tactical is more action oriented, more reactive. बही रे तो बहुत प्रकार देइछि ताकू टिके पढंतु मु जो डिस्कशन कली ताकू टिके रेफर करंतु prepare your own material and write the answer. Strategic is all about your tricks and techniques which are taken by the top level executives where it is not known to all. This is all your strategy. Tactical ame koche ki again it involves more tactfulness. Okay, it is sudden and instant you need to implement. Okay, so see strategic decisions and action decisions that can also be write down. We have already discussed in planning, strategic planning and action planning. On that basis you are taking decisions. So bahire to bahut prakar deithibo. It is not time to discuss from all the concepts which are given in the book. So please go through the book. I am suggesting you go through the book. Whatever concepts mu jaha deli say I am unable to discuss all, right? So you go through that and you can prepare your own material. Okay, I hope the next teacher is already
Sir, last question. Sir, good question.
Sir, during exam, please be kind to us rather than kicking our back, sir.
Sir,
कौन कहले
2019-2020 ର क्वेश्चन नाही सर वेबसाइट रे
2019-20 question देखिबा जदि नथिबा then we will try to upload it, but 20-21 question नथाई पारे because of covid, but नथिले आपण 18-16 देखि परिबे
सर 21 is available but 20 and 19 are not available.
देखिबा जहा नथिबा but जति कि अछि सति कि रेफर करंतु.
Sir, while we were attending the offline classes, while we were attending the offline classes, you told us about the BRFW and BRFW and OB, some other subject. You told that you will tell us some important questions. I'm sorry.
Business ethics.
Exactly. So you told that you will give us some important.
You have forgotten the name of the paper. I remember that. But still, I will try to give supplement materials to you in those two papers. Don't worry for that. I'll give materials in those two papers. BRFW material and BE material I will give. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, during the exams,
during the examination.
Hello, sir.
It's not audible during the examination.
Sir, during the examination, please little bit kind to us, sir, rather than kicking our back, sir.
So that's why you see, mu तुमको जानिली कि तमे मते क्वेश्चन टा पचारियो बोली इंटेंशनली मु तुम इंटेंशन बुझी परली एवं सेत में अवॉइड करली तापर तुमको एनकरेज करली तमे पचारो. It is an unlawful questions which you are putting in front of me. So see से जिनसटा तमे एमति पचारिया कथा नुहे. जदी तमरो प्रिपेयर न होई पारुछ मु एडवाइस करबी कि परीक्षा न देई कि नेक्स्ट थर दियो, right? So but prepare करो, परीक्षा दियो, परीक्षा सरी गला परे तमे कहबो कि नाही आमे किछि पढी कि कलु बोली. मु भाबुछि कि तमे एई प्रकार रो जिंस तमे जोडी कंपनी चाकरी करछ तमे बॉस को मध्ये तमे पचारिवार साहस नथि.
Right, sir.
And you should ask
sir.
Yes sir, please.
Sir, actually examination रे गोटे सजेशन थिला सर, जेहेतु कि हमें समस्त प्राय तो जॉब होल्डर अछु, तो एक्चुअली फेब्रुआरी मार्च माने जन टू मार्च एक्चुअली जेएफएम गोटे हमर लास्ट क्वार्टर होची सर हमर फाइनेंशियल ईयर रो. तो हमको भी सेटा इशू होची तो मार्च परे सेमति हे परिबो कि सर एग्जाम जति बैंक स्ट्रेस
एग्जाम रो गोटे शेड्यूल रही छै. आपण माने जति कहिबे ताले 2 वर्ष का 3 वर्ष होई छै. Do you want to get the certificate after 3 years?
नहीं सेटा नहीं सर. माने फेब्रुआरी लास्ट रे कोचन ना दैट टू बी फेब्रुआरी गोटे 28 दिन
हमरो एग्जाम गवर्नमेंट देई छी ये कि फेब्रुआरी 28 भितरे सब एग्जाम फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर थर्ड सेमेस्टर सारिया.
ओके
जनवरी 28 नोटिफिकेशन जदी हमें न करूछु ताल केबे करिवु. मार्च रे तो करि परिबुनी. एप्रिल एंड रे फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर करिवु. आपण सुविधा पे एप्रिल फर्स्ट रे परीक्षा एप्रिल ले देबे परीक्षा. तापर सेकंड सेमेस्टर केबे करिवु पुणी गुंची गला केबे को डिसेंबर को. थर्ड सेमेस्टर केबे करिवु एप्रिल मे को. आपण पाइबे फोर्थ सेमेस्टर केबे देबे 2024 डिसेंबर. जा रिजल्ट केबे पाइबे 2025. 3 वर्ष हे जिवो कोर्स. तेनो
okay got it.
Just plan as per our plan. Okay, amo wise karantu and do not become so panic. You will do well because we are preparing all of you in that way only.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Smita madam is waiting, sir.
कौन कहले बाबू?
सर स्टडी मटेरियल मिलले ग्रुप रे टिके पढि देबे।
स्टडी मटेरियल निश्चित रूपे मते तमे काली समय दियो कोन कोन बही आछि मु कहि दउची स्टिल वंस अगेन तम माने आसी कि नै परिबो वंस अगेन मु जो सॉफ्ट कॉपी मटेरियल आई एम इंस्ट्रक्टिंग यू टू शेयर राइट।
सर ग्रुप रे पोस्ट कर देबे मिलले
ग्रुप रे पोस्ट कर दो निश्चित।
सर स्टडी मटेरियल हेले सर बेटर होबो सर।
स्टडी मटेरियल हमें हार्ड कॉपी बही तो हार्ड कॉपी बही हमें शेयर कर दोसी मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स जे माने पाइछन किछि किछि हां देखो जी काल दी दिन भीतर कोन बही आछि
सर आल्सो सॉफ्ट कॉपी भी सर
हार्ड कॉपी ओके आई होप द नेक्स्ट टीचर इज देयर। का पेपर अछि बे?
सब मोबी अछि सर।
ओबी मैं रश्मि मैडम आसी गलेनी।
ओबी सर
हां मैडम आसी गलेनी प्लीज कंटिन्यू मैडम।
सर आपनको एनकरेजमेंट ପାଇଁ धन्यवाद।
Thank you madam. I hope all of you will cooperate with us with the team. We are always there to help you all.
Thank you so much sir.
We are always अपने हम सहित मिसिनो हम सहित कथा हिनो रश्मि मैडम मु हमर जो टीम अछि इट्स अ स्मॉल टीम but we are always ready to help you. Okay, not in the during the examination we will become liberal, not in that way. I have already given one example is that jemti ame koche ki if will come one step towards us we will go 10 steps. जदि 10% तुम माने प्रिपेयर करके लेखुच आंसर देन हमें तुम माने 30% निश्चित रूप से सिक्योर करबो। We are strict from examination point of view but we always request the examiner evaluator ता माने नुए कि कियोटे ब्लैंक लेखि के आस्तिबो के कोन लेखि के आस्तिबो but still पिला माने भलो करंती but हमें एग्जामिनेशन ने बहुत स्ट्रिक्टली कंडक्ट करू। डू नॉट वरी एते पैनिक हवा दरकार नहीं पढंतु सफिशिएंट टाइम अछि। You have sufficient time. Just prepare. किछि क्वेश्चन भी तमे डिवोट करके जदी आंसर करि दबो then certainly you will do well in the examination. Thank you.